What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now, sorry it's a little dark in here. The light that's usually over here is broken, but we're gonna make it do. We have a lot of interesting things to cover in this update here. So we're gonna go over a little bit of what's happening with the overall stock market, a couple of key things that I want you guys to look out for going into the end of this week. We're gonna be taking a look at the dollar, the US 10-year treasury yield, and then we also have some really interesting developments in this FTX Sam Bankman-Fried saga. There have just been some, not leaked, but screen captured text messages between Vox and Sam Bankman-Fried that are really damning and kind of show a little bit more insight into exactly what was happening at FTX and who Sam Bankman-Fried actually is as a human being, and it kind of just exposes the entire thing here. So guys, before we get into all of that information, if you do enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you guys in these videos, make sure you go down and hit that like button. 1348 gang, make sure you guys comment down below what you guys have been trading recently, and make sure you guys have, if you guys have not already, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you don't miss another video like this. But let's get right into it over here and take a look at exactly what is happening with the SPY. So recently, we have seen this nice solid rejection off of this 200 exponential moving average here on this daily time frame. Now, we haven't quite started to see the MACD losing its bullish momentum here yet. The RSI is pivoting down towards its moving average, but if you do kind of look at this chart here, it looks like a pretty big bear flag if chart patterns are your thing. Now, this is kind of the time period here as well when we take a look at this economic calendar where the news and the different pieces of economic data are slightly slowing down after the Fed meeting in the CPI report came out. Tomorrow, we have the initial jobless claims, continuing claims, so the jobs report. We get a little bit more housing data here, building permits and housing starts, and then we get a lot more Fed speakers as well. Existing home sales is going to be a key data point to look out for on Friday as well. And a lot of these data points that are coming out are going to serve to really give us an indication of, well, what are we expecting for the rate hike to be in December? Right now, there's about an 85.4% probability that we're going to get a 50 basis point rate hike. Remember, that's not a pivot. That's not a sign to kind of pat ourselves on the back that the economy is getting better. As a lot of the Fed members have said, when we move down to 50 basis points, we can still hike at 50 basis points continuously until things start to actually get better. And that creates a lot of uncertainty because we don't know what the terminal rate is going to be. And by terminal rate, the highest that the federal funds rate is actually going to go before they stop raising rates and actually bring these rates down. Now, going back over here to the SPY, taking a look at this on the 4-hour time frame, you did see the RSI come down below its moving average. And something that I was pointing out here too today is that if you look at this 4-hour chart here of the SPY, if I saw this type of price action on the 5-minute, what would I be looking for? A pretty significant reversal. Today, you guys saw me do this. Yesterday, you guys saw me do this on the stream. Last week, you guys saw me doing this on those midday live streams, looking at price action like this on the SPY. And what do we typically see? Pretty aggressive moves down. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. It's very possible that this is going to rim and bounce off this 13 EMA here. But with this MACD losing that bullish momentum, the RSI crossing down below its moving average and kind of being overcooked up here at this 80, we do have a little bit more downside left. We could end up bouncing around this 390 to 390.50 level that we see right here before we start chopping around. Now, again, with all of this crazy price action that we are seeing, there's a lot of money to be made, and I do want to highlight, as usual, some of our members over here. Nikki Ricky, 12% in the last week, 23% on the day for 8 Mile, Ghost, 4%, Brendeezy, 3% on the day, all awesome gains. Remember, guys, I can show you gains on gains forever. The results speak for themselves at this point. Invictus, absolutely slaughtering it this week. The most powerful retail investor tool that is out there right now. And again, remember, if you guys did not know yet, our new platform is releasing very soon, and all of our existing members here will be getting a 50% off discount for us to kind of give back to you guys for allowing us to actually create this awesome tool for you guys. So if you are interested, make sure you check out that link down below. But taking a look at the dollar over here on the 5-minute, well, you did see a little bit of volatility on the dollar today, but throwing this on a longer time frame over here, you are seeing it bounce off this 200 EMA. If it slips below, the market could have a nice little rally here, but if it starts to bounce and make its way back up to this 13 EMA here, then yes, we're most likely going to see more continued selling. Now, today was also a very interesting day here with the 10-year treasury yields. If you look at this on the 5-minute time frame, the yields were coming down a lot today, meaning that investors were buying bonds. But what ended up happening with the stock market mostly throughout the day here? Well, if we look at this on the daily time frame, you can see that the market was down about 0.76% today. That's slightly different in terms of the relationship between stocks and bonds that we have been seeing this year, in more typical of what we usually see out of stocks and bonds. Investors cycle out of equities into the bond market. What we've been seeing more of recently is that they've been selling out of both stocks and bonds and going into cash. That's starting to change. This is one of the first days that we've seen this, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, let's go over and take a look at some of these new developments with this FTX situation. There's been this contagion spreading. We have seen a lot of interesting developments here. FTX was using customer funds to basically gamble with Alameda Research, the trading arm of Sam Bankman-Fried. And we can see that the effects on the broader crypto space here, that after this news started to spread, well, the overall crypto space is down about 27% as of right now. Now, this also could affect the equity markets as well, as both stocks and crypto are pretty much interlinked at this point in the game. Now, when we come over here, taking a look at some more of this contagion, just in, crypto lender BlockFi is preparing for imminent bankruptcy, citing the FTX collapse. We saw some developments with Gemini and Genesis today, but the most interesting thing is this article here released by Vox, really giving us an insight into the mindset of Sam Bankman-Fried and who this individual actually is as a person and how they view the world, business, and the crypto space as a whole. So here's a couple of key things. We're going to go through this list right here. And again, this stuff is really crazy. I don't think a lot of people expected this out of him. The one person that actually did was Mark Cahotis on Twitter, which was a great call there. But I was trying to figure out, like, if that was kind of the PR off the cuff answer. Man, all the dumb shit I said, if not true, not real, it's not true, not really. Yeah, I thought it might not be. Everyone goes around pretending that perception reflects reality. It doesn't. Some of this decade's greatest heroes will never be known, and some of its most beloved people are basically scams. So you kind of don't believe in, like, doing unethical shit as anything other than a judgment we bestow upon the losers. A month ago, CZ was a walking example of don't do unethical things or your money is worthless. Now he's a hero. Is it because he's virtuous or because he had the bigger balance sheet and so he won? Well, I can see why you didn't give that answer in interviews. So the ethics, this is where it gets really interesting. So the ethics stuff, mostly a front. People will like you if you win and hate you if you lose, and that's how it all really works. Yeah, I mean, that's not all of it, but it's a lot. The worst quadrant is sketchy plus lose. The best is win plus question mark. Clean plus lose is bad, but not terrible. You were really good at talking about ethics. For someone who kind of saw it all as a game of winners and losers, yeah, I had to be. It's what reputations are made of to some extent. I feel bad for those who got screwed over by it, but this dumb game we woke Westerners play where we say all the right shibboleths, that's an interesting word, and so everyone likes us. You tweeted out some stuff like, we never invested your deposits. That was BS, right? It was factually accurate, huh? But like their deposits were totally not there. Or do you just mean technically it was Alameda, FTX? Correct. So they're dancing around all these terms here saying, well, technically it wasn't FTX gambling customer deposits. FTX was loaning out this money to Alameda, basically admitting it right here that he did exactly what everybody thinks that he did. So FTX technically wasn't gambling with their money. FTX had just loaned their money to Alameda, who had gambled with their money and lost it. And you don't realize it was a big deal because you didn't realize how much money it was. And also thought Alameda had enough collateral to reasonably cover it. I get how you could have gotten away with it, but I guess that seems sketchy. Even if you get away with it, it was never the intention. Sometimes life creeps up on you. That's the response that Sam Bankman-Fried has here. Meh, it is what it is. Sometimes life creeps up on you. And everybody loses everything. Now, he does go a little bit deeper onto exactly what was happening here. And let me see if I can find this next section that really gets interesting on what he regrets. He regrets filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy because he believes that within a couple of weeks time frame that everything would be 70% fixed and customers would get their money back. So what he's doing here is trying to pass the blame onto the people that were suggesting that he was filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, at this point, he essentially is saying, should have just wrote it out and kept trying to make the $8 billion back. If I hadn't done that, withdrawals would be opening up in a month with customers fully whole, but instead I filed, and the people in charge of it are trying to burn it all to the ground out of shame. Now, he does make some comments about some of his previous business partners, and on the hack of FTX, he just basically says it's a hack. Nobody really knows what that situation really ended up as at this current point. But here's what he says what he's going to do next. What's next? What's your plan? I have 2 weeks to raise $8 billion. That's basically all that matters for the rest of my life. Well, I really hope that the depositors get their money back, but I got to say, I have no idea how anyone could possibly pull all of that off from this starting point. Well, a month ago, I was one of the world's best fundraisers. Now, I'm the fallen wreckage of one. But here's the thing about being fallen. There are people who know what it's like and who want to do for someone else what nobody did for them. Now, think about that statement there. There have been a lot of people in the past. Let's think about this, the previous CEO of WeWork, Adam Neumann. There's been a lot of people, Theranos, I forget exactly what her name was right now, but there are a lot of people out there that have done wildly unethical things, and society and the marketplace has punished them for it. That is what a free and fair market is there to do. If nobody's trusting you in your business, you're going to go out of business. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried seemingly doesn't understand this point and still thinks of it as a giant game right now of perception and winning and losing. He thinks that if he's able to get this money back to customers, which is not looking good right now at all, that somehow that's a win for him and he's going to continue to carry on doing business. But at the end of the day, are you going to trust him? Are you going to trust any of these people in this space here? Or not necessarily any of these people in this space, but any of these people at the head of one of these large centralized trading firms with your money after you've seen time and time again what has happened with these exchanges and these trading firms over the last year? I wouldn't. Why would you trust somebody like this? So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. If you did enjoy the information and analysis that I provided for you guys in this one, make sure you guys go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. If you guys do want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So I hope you guys are having a great evening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.